What's going on, YouTube? Um, Once again, I just hit record and didn't really think about how I wanted to segue into this to share this, but I'm gonna just get right to it. I am coming out of a PMDD wave. If you don't know what PMDD is, it's premenstrual dysphoric disorder. Um, Signaled by a lot of not so good stuff: anxiety, depression, rage, and ideations of suicide. Um, some other stuff too. Brain fog. Forgot to mention that on the last video. It's hard to think clearly. It's hard to think straight, and your worldview is just distorted. Um, so I'm coming out of one of those phrases, one of those phases, right? And anytime that I start to come out of them, I always joke and say, "Oh, introspective Jill pops up." You know, um, considering what the PMDD wave causes, I guess I struggle with that because I just hate giving it power. I hate like blaming it, but it's a chemical imbalance. Anyway, when I kind of come out of a wave and I look back at the things or the people that I may have harmed while in the wave because I was struggling with all of those things, introspective Jill pops up because I'm just like, okay, what can I do to prevent this? What can I do to stop hurting myself, hurting, the people closest to me? What can I do? Right. So introspective Jill always pops up. This time around, was interesting because this was probably the least intense wave that I've had. To the point where I was able to get on here and explain what was going on while still going through everything, which is not usually something that I can do. And I'm also ADHD, so I pray to God that I stay on track and I remember where I'm going with this, but y'all just bear with me. Anywho, I had probably the least intense wave that I've ever that I've had in a very long time. But it was still intense. I still felt it, but I still kind of stayed in control for the most part. I'm trying a new treatment. I can't really get into what it is. One, because it's new for me. This is probably the first month. So I just want to make sure, I want to make sure before I put it out there. Also, there's another reason why I can't put it out there and why I can't say what it is right now. I'll just say this. My psychiatrist is the one who put me onto it. So it's nothing, that's all I can say. Anyway, my point in even sharing. Oh, by the way, my point in even sharing this is if you deal with PMDD and you know somebody who's dealing with it, you can hit me up on Instagram. I'm Jim Naturals over there. Just DM me. I'll let you know what it is. It's just too soon to be putting it out on the internet just yet. And when I tell you what it is, you'll see why. Anyway, my point in sharing all of this is I struggle with this thing, right? Since I was a kid, like I struggle with sort of resting on, oh, hey, this works, or even being excited about something, right? Because my experience has been it kind of goes haywire every time I do. A good example, I'll just tell you about the first thing that pops in my head from childhood was I remember being so excited and so like, just amped to go on this road trip to go to Six Flags. And, 2 weeks, leading up to it, I'm just excited. I'm hype. And then I got car sick on the way there. And I was sick the entire time. I love roller coasters. I love amusement parks. But I was nauseated the whole time, and it sort of dampened, well, it didn't sort of, like, ruined the trip for me because, like, I wanted to get on the roller coasters, but just looking at them looping, I was like, ugh. Like, and it, like, spoiled it. And that was a common recurrence for me as a kid of just like, oh, I'm excited about something, or this is going to happen, or this is something that I can count on, and it's kind of falling through, rather, not following through, falling through. I've got more instances of that, but we ain't got that type of time. The most recent instance of that was this treatment that I'm trying, right? And it's not just for PMDD. It can help everybody across the board, and I told a good friend about it, and I was just telling her how just clear-minded I am, more confident. Of course, all the PMDD stuff, it's still there, but it doesn't control anything. It doesn't control my behavior. It's just sort of like in the corner over there, like, okay, that anxiety's over there. What's this? All right, you get a little close sometimes. You're a little close, but it's not affecting me. So it was just like, I was just like, oh my God, I found the thing. It's tolerable now. And no more than a day later, it seemed like it just stopped working. Just out the blue. Everything came back. And I said and did things that I regret, said and did things that I didn't mean. And I hurt people closest to me. The people that I love the most are the ones that I hurt, especially during those times. And it's difficult for them to say, like, hey, Jillian's having a wave. Or it's difficult for them to separate the things that I say and do while I'm having a wave and who I actually am, because they believe it, because I'm doing it, and I don't blame them for that. But all the more reason for me to be like, okay, well, for one, I want to get this under control just so I can stand living in this head of mine. But also, I don't want to hurt my people. I don't want to hurt people that I love. I don't want to hurt me either, right? So getting off tangent. Anyway, so I'm sitting there after blowing up, losing my SHIT, trying to stop cussing. And I'm sitting there, and here comes introspective Jill. And I just sat and I thought about, like, man, God, why is this so hard? And I heard, because if it was easy, you wouldn't grow. I said, okay. Okay. But then I took it a little further. And I was like, man, I wonder what it is when I get excited about something, or I get like, oh, this can help, or whatever, I start to feel like I can trust something. It just stops. It just falls through. My antidepressants were that way. This new treatment was this way. Several other things was, like that. And I was sitting just talking to God one day. Actually, I was sitting right here in front of my computer, and I was like, oh. I was like, God is probably like, those things fall through. The treatments fall through because you give the treatments more credit than you give me. And I was like, oh my goodness. I give the treatments more credit than I give God. That's like charging up your phone and praising the charger. Being like, oh, the charger charged my phone. The charger did it. No, it didn't. The charger is the vessel. The source, which is the electricity, that charges your phone. God is the source, right? And when you think about it, it's just like, I had to break it down even further. I'm like, oh my goodness, like the treatments is the charger in a way, where God is working through them. Not only did God design, the herbs or whatever, whatever it's not concentrated from, derived from, God designed all of that. Not only that, but he designed our bodies to respond to them the way that they respond. God does that. It ain't the treatment. It ain't the therapy. It's God. It ain't the charger, And that just blew my mind, where I'm just like, okay. I've been, even if I go back to the childhood stuff, I was looking at Six Flags for the joy. I was looking at the thing that I was excited about for the joy. Ooh, I'm going to be happy when I get that. Ooh, I'm going to be happy when I go there. And God is just like, baby, I'm right here. I'm your joy. I'm your peace. I'm all of that, So let me remove this so you can focus on me, and I understand it now, 30 something years later. I understand it now. Oh. Oh, okay. Anyway, ADHD. But I'm glad that I stayed on track because I remembered what I wanted to say. But yeah, it's not really a perfect fix or anything like that. But I always come out of these waves with something, like that Denzel clip. I'm leaving here with something. I'm from the wrong way, and I get a little more clarity, and I feel a little more equipped to deal with the next wave. But also, I'll also say this. I think the treatment. So, this is TMI. I'm gonna spare y'all the details, but I think the treatment, I took it, and I had eaten something hours before that did not agree with me. So you can imagine. I'm like, I don't think I hung on to it for very long, and maybe it didn't absorb. That might have been why it just seemed like it stopped working. Regardless of, if that's the case or not, I always say God orchestrates all of this stuff just to give us, that wisdom, to give us that realization, because had it just kept working, I probably wouldn't have come to the realization that I give it too much credit and not God. So God did it. God did it. Either way, that was God's way of just being like, hey, you're giving this thing more credit than you give me. Fix it. So, like I said before, I really want to start documenting these things because they help me process it. They help me heal from it. But also, I hope that it could be helpful for somebody else. Whichever way that it helps them, I hope that it's beneficial to other people as well. Like I said, if you're dealing with PMDD and you're at the point where you're like, okay, I need some extra help or what have you, I will let you know what I've been doing. Just remember, my psychiatrist said it, a medical professional. And it's not marijuana. So anyway, yeah, just hit me up if you got questions. But as I have said before, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get through it. One last thing I'll share is another realization that I came to was I'll give you a glimpse of how ugly and nasty the wave can be, right? I was at a dark place for a little bit. Took the treatment. Hours later, it started to kick in and started to work. I felt the lift. I started to feel like myself again. And y'all know I'm a goofball. So something completely unrelated, I like kind of cracked the joke in my head and I laughed about it. And I typically do this thing where I tell myself like, girl, you are so unstable. You are a terrible person. Like, pick one. Are you sad? Are you happy? Like, I'll beat myself up for feeling better. That don't make no damn sense, but that's what I would do. And I'm gonna share this and I'm gonna share this because I know I'm not the only one, but oftentimes I would say things. I'd be like, I hate you, Jill. Like, I'd say that to myself, like out of frustration, out of like, what are you doing? What's the matter with you? Like I would tell myself that I hated myself. And that thought tried to pop in again. This is how I know the treatment worked. That thought tried to bring its little petty lying behind in. And I was like, nah, I don't hate me. I hate the imbalance. I hate the chemical imbalance that causes this. I hate that thing, not me, because it's not me, And that's what I mean by that treatment. It gives you clear-headedness and just out of this, out of this world, not out of this world, because that sound like something else. But it's just been super helpful and so much clarity, but also, I'm sorry. I did it again, Lord. God works through this treatment to allow me to have the clarity, to have the epiphanies. That's God's doing. That's God working through all of that. I'm going to get it together, Lord. I'm going to get it together. Get it together. Thank you for the Thank you for the conviction, Holy Spirit. I was about to say conviction. I don't even think that's a word. Anyway, yeah. I just wanted to come on here and share that. I hope it helps somebody, especially if you're watching this in the middle of a wave. I'm here, if you want to share anything in the comments, you want to personally hit me up on Instagram. I'm Jim Naturals over there, and I'm always here to lend a hearing ear. That don't sound like that's the right phrase, but you know what I mean. Just be prepared. I don't take nothing serious, so I'm going to take it serious, but then, we're going to be laughing. We're going to be laughing about something. So anyway, feel free. I'm here. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Stay inspired, stay empowered, and stay beautiful. Peace. My chair. That unnecessary. Bye.